My name is Urbain Coutteau, and my job is actually brewing beers at the Struise brewing company. Before my brewing career started, I was a photographer in the Pan, which is a village nearby Vletteren, a coastal village. It's a village where I was raised. I lived for around 20 years over there. And back in 1987, I moved to Africa for about 10 years, where I was mostly active in civil engineering, like roadworks and bridge building. My first brewing experience dates from 1978. That's a long time ago. At the time, we just spontaneously fermented our beers because, having lack of money, we didn't have any possibilities to buy yeast. But with my photography career coming in the way, I sort of forgot about it. And I actually got interested again in brewing when I was in Africa. It was a way to kill away the boring weekends. And by the time I came back in 1997, we sort of got thinking about it again with some friends, and we sort of got active again in 2001, together with my acolyte associates, Carlo Grootaert, Phil Drissens, who is my brother-in-law, and of course Peter Braam. So those are the four main associates in Struise Brewing Company, and we have been, let's say, working greatly together for 11 years now. Struise can be pronounced in many ways. Some will say Struise, and others will say Struise. So, however you name it, it isn't a problem. From the moment everybody recognizes, I'm happy. Struise has a double meaning. You could translate it to sturdy, for the sturdy beers we brew. And of course, Struise also has a meaning in Flemish that translates to ostrich. And as we have an ostrich farm in Loo, which is a village pretty near to Vletteren, and as we started brewing over there, we sort of accompanied the ostriches in our logo. For the moment, we have two plants where we brew at. We have our school brewery, where we sort of brew and develop the new Struise recipes, and where we invite worldly renowned brewers and brewmasters to come and have a collaborative brew session. And of course we have our production brewery, which is at Decca. It's only 3 minutes away from the school, and where we produce all of our let's say export beers, our local beers. And we have been doing that since 2005. Panapot was created in 2003, and the popularity of Panapot has been growing ever since. It's a 10% marriage between a dark strong ale and a soft export stout. Where does the name Panapot come from? It comes from, first of all, the village of the Pan, which is a coastal city and has a beach of around 2 miles long. About 2 centuries ago, the local fishermen would land on the beach because there wasn't any harbor in the Pan. And for a Panapot to land on the beach, you needed a flat bottom. And the name Pan translates it all, because a pan is flat. That's hence the name came from. And the women of the local fishermen would make, in that time, kind of a thick beer, which they would age in barrels, and they would mix it with egg yolk and sugar to give a sort of energy cocktail to the fishermen, which would have to, you know, endure crazy hours on the sea and at very low temperatures. When such a panapot actually landed on the beach, the women would drive high carts and they sort of would go in the water, and all the fish would be unloaded manually and then rowed away to the marketplace. So this was all very very hard labor to do, and I guess their panapot at the time was a product they really needed just to be able to cover the day. In the early days, we were very anxious to get as much flavors and aromas in those beers that after a while, as we create beers that are alive, and beers that are alive, they evolve in flavor, taste and aroma while they're in the bottle or in the keg. We saw that putting too much basic ingredients in the beer gave us products that in the end were less good than what we initially were seeking after. So within time, we sort of stripped down our recipes, and we have been searching ever since to get them as simple as possible. So the one-liner "less is more" is correct for us. It helps us creating very special beers. So our first goal in the brew house will always be to try and make a beer that is very complex, 2, original, and 3, that the customer likes. We don't go, well, we have a reputation of going very extreme, but in the end, all of our beers are very balanced, and the customer likes to drink balanced beers. And I think that's one of the parameters that have brought us success. Within time, we need to guarantee quality, and when the consumer gets that quality, I'm sure that that consumer in the end will always be in favor of your product. So we hammer on quality a lot, and we do shave our recipes every brew. Whenever we have a brew of beer, whatever kind of style we're making, we're never happy. So we do quality control every day, and we discuss about the positive vibes in a beer, but also about the negative vibes in a beer. And that is pretty important, that we can analyze and accept that at our level we do make mistakes, and we have to take those mistakes in account and say, okay, next time we have to do better. And in the day of today, where we live in such a rapid world, I think our strategy is unique. We are very patient in what we do. We are hammering on quality every day. It is very opposite on what most of the people are getting in the world today. It's like we are having an early 1900 strategy that is working in today's era. Around 2001, our annual production was around 10 hectoliters, which is pretty nano-like in volume. And last year we were able to produce something like 1,700 hectoliters. And I think we are gonna be continuously growing, because every year we see that, you know, the bigger quantities we make are only a drop on a hot plate. We are actually architecting our future for the next 20 years, but with respect to quality. So we're gonna have to invest more money than other breweries will do. But, you know, we always get the support of our customers for that. I think if we wouldn't invest in quality today, within a year, I think we should shut down, because our customers would not support us anymore. We are very happy that we have such a large group of supporters worldwide, and we are very thankful for the fact that those supporters are writing to us, they are visiting us, they are ordering us beers, and that makes us so happy that we also realize that we have taken a very good direction on a very, you know, important crossroad back in 2003, because I remember the early days when, you know, Struise was making dull beers between 2001 and 2003. You know, we were doing like every other Belgian brewery was doing at that time. You know, making good beers, but, you know, a little bit boring. And I didn't see myself working another 30 years at a brewery making those beers. I think I would have died within 5 years. So I had to create something that made it worthwhile to, you know, go on for another 30 years. And that's what we have been doing since 2004 with Panapot. And then came cheeses, and then Black Albert, Earth Monk, Panapult, the Black Damnations, Double Black, 5 Squared. I think we have about 12 battleships in the top 50 of the best Belgian beers in the world. So that gives us a lot of satisfaction. And the only way we could have had all those beers at such a level is by the daily support we get from our customers. And that is, to me, and to the Struise Brewing Company, that I think is the most important issue.